Welcome to the MLB Network Podcast presented by New Balance. We got now. I'm Adnan Virk. It is great to have you with us. Always happy to talk sports and movies. And what a great gift we have today. A longtime actor, noted Dodgers fan, and the writer, producer, director, and star of the new film, Little Angels. Ladies and gentlemen, is Dean Cain. Welcome, Dean, to the MLB Network Podcast. How you doing?
I'm fantastic and so happy to be here. Thank you for having me.
Of course, man. Thank you. We'll talk more about the movie in just a second, but let's get into your origin story. Born in Michigan, family moved to Malibu. You even, it's amazing. You're a big sports star in high school, and even believe played on the same baseball team as Charlie Sheen and Rob Lowe.
Yeah.
Don't be modest, Dean. I'm sure you're the best of the three. Give me the scouting report.
Yeah, it was me. Rob wasn't much of a baseball player, but his brother Chad was pretty good.
Yes.
And then Charlie was pretty good. And if either of them say they got me, I'm not buying it. I loved baseball, played it forever, and right up until or was it just to college? I stopped playing like my senior year in high school. You got to start choosing at that point in time, and so football became my first love. It had been for a while, but I wasn't able to run track and play baseball. Although they did say, come out here and play center field for us, and we'll fit you in between track stuff, and it just didn't work out. But I was able to play a professional baseball in a show called Clubhouse for a while. Nice. We did 11 episodes of that, and that was incredibly fun.
Yeah, but pretty cool. What was your position? You were a center fielder?
I played second base. I played center field. I played left field. In the show Clubhouse, I played third base. Man, that's a long throw. That's a throw in a major league stadium. That throw from third base to first is a shot, and you don't realize, like regular people don't realize, the cannons that these guys have for arms. It's insane.
No, you're right. The likes of Nolan Arenado, Manny Machado, it's incredible watching those guys at the hot corner. You mentioned Charlie. One of the things people love about Major League is he can actually throw a baseball 80, 85, 87 miles an hour. Were you able to get a hit off Charlie just when you were, batting practice, playing around?
Listen, I'll face Charlie now. I love Charlie. He's a good friend. Love to death. He loves the sport of baseball, but I'll face him anytime. But you throw me 87, I'm going yard, baby. That's gone. You're not gonna see that, but the fans better throw it back because it ain't coming back.
I love the confidence. As you said, Dean, you ended up going with football. You were a star safety at Princeton. Princeton's single season record, 12 interceptions in 10 games. Amazing. You signed with the Buffalo Bills, but unfortunately a knee injury cut your career short. How tough was that to reconcile with?
It helped that I was kind of stupid and naive at the time, and you kind of tend to be that at 21, 22. And I just didn't think it was over. I thought, I'll be back. Fine. So I'll take sort of a year to just get stronger and learn the playbook and rock and roll. And it just kept nagging and nagging and nagging. Finally, we had it looked at again, and they're like, look, man, if you want to play basketball with your son when you're 40, you should find another profession. You got bone on bone. You got a problem. And I thought, 40, man, that's 100 years from now. Of course, my math wasn't so good either, even though I did go to Princeton. So then I found a new career. That was it. And it took me, honestly, I was probably in the second or third season of Lois and Clark, like 28, 29 years old, when I realized that I was never going back to the NFL, because you always harbor that thought, that dream, I want to go back. I want to go do it. But I went and visited Buffalo, and it was a divisional championship game against Miami, last game of the season. Whoever won the division. And I went back to Buffalo and I was an honorary captain, stood on the sidelines. Man, they hit so hard in the NFL. Yeah. And I'll tell this quick Andre Reed story. So Andre we were like a third and, I don't know, it was probably 3rd and 8. Andre ran a quick out, got it about 5 yards, turned it up, and just got hammered right in front of me. Just boom. It sounded like a car accident. It was like such a thud. Boom. And he gets up. He knew he was short. Got up and he stood next to me on the sideline, and he was just hunched over for a second. I know that feeling so well. And then he kind of gets up and goes, Ugh. He goes, hey, man, how do you get into that acting thing anyway? And I was like, yes, I understand. So I could pretend I didn't miss that pain that you felt on Sunday mornings. But Yeah, that was, and there's a Hall of Famer receiver asking that question, Co. So,
Yeah.
it's a banger in that game.
I was about to say those are some great Bills teams. Obviously, Andre Reed, James Lofton, Thurman Thomas. I mean, obviously Jim Kelly ran the whole show, so that would have been really cool. But well, how did acting come about then? The athletic dream is done. How did you focus on acting?
Well, I grew up the son of a director, so my dad was a director. So like Charlie Sheen, in Young Guns, my dad produced and directed Young Guns.
Oh
So
wow.
all these kids that I grew up with were in the movie, and I was like, I was still in college. I was like, man, that looks like fun. And I'd done a bunch of movie roles and things with my dad, but it didn't seem like it was a real career choice,
Right.
which was probably the smart version of me. And I thought, it's like that seems a weird career choice. But I was looking at all my Princeton friends and what they were doing in the interim, and they were going on to Wall Street and they were wearing suits and ties and doing 80-hour weeks in the stifling heat of New York in the summer. And I thought that sucks. I don't want to be doing that. Of course, some of those guys are billionaires now, so maybe I screwed up. But I just didn't. It didn't excite me. So I started looking into film. Maybe even my sophomore, junior year, I was starting to look at it. And my dad was cultivating my screenwriting, and he said, you got a career in that if you want it. And I decided that I was going to be a writer at night and play football during the day. And then, of course, that dream ended, and I had to start making a living. And so I started trying to do it as a writer, and I realized it takes a long time to get paid as a writer. So I started doing commercials and things and acting. And I got more and more commercials and more things. And then finally I got a couple different shows. And then I ended up with that lovely S across my chest. I had the opportunity to play Superman. That was the greatest career start ever. I mean, people still call me that all the time, and I'm absolutely fine with that. I've been called a lot of bad things in my day. Superman, I'll take it.
We'll talk more about Lois and Clark, plus the LA Dodgers, some of his other film roles. A lot more coming up here with Dean Cain on the MLB Network Podcast.
Worn by players like Michael Harris to meet the demand of elite ball players, the New Balance Fuel Cell 4040 V7 is a versatile cleat. The 4040 V7 is built for the athlete who needs responsiveness and ability to cut and run at their full speed. The model features a fuel cell foam underfoot and a synthetic and mesh upper to provide breathability, comfort, and a snug fit as you round the bases. The Fuel Cell midsole features nitrogen-infused foam specifically designed to propel athletes forward. Learn more and purchase the 4040 at newbalance.com.
We're in America. Newsflash. Soccer's for girls.
You are to perform 50 hours of community service.
Well, this is soccer. I'm a football coach.
Timeout, timeout. There's no timeouts in soccer. Get off the field, coach.
You really think you're a good coach? Then prove it. Turn your soccer team into winners.
1, 2, 3, and
Being part of a team is like being part of a family. Win or lose, I want to be part of this family.
How good does that look? Back with the actor/filmmaker Dean Cain. His new film is called Little Angels. Dean, what's it all about? What inspired you to make it?
So I love sports. I've loved sports my entire life. I've played everything under the sun except for ice hockey, except for a couple times drunk in college. I don't want to get into that. It didn't turn out well. We broke into that. Yeah, it wasn't good. But I love sports, and I love sports as a metaphor for life because you learn so much playing the game. I learned more playing football than I can explain to people. And you learn teamwork, you learn camaraderie, you learn to work hard, you learn discipline, you learn resilience. You're going to get knocked on your tail. You better get back up. You learn to really concentrate and support your teammates. You learn that you're only as strong as your weakest link, and so on and so forth. So all these lessons transfer into life. And the truth is, like, the first movie that ever made me cry was Brian's Song. And It was the story of Gale Sayers and Brian Piccolo. Man, I didn't even know I was crying. I was a kid, and I was like, what's something going on with my eyes, because I understand that competition, and I love. I mean, I was watching something on Instagram the other day, and it was that kid Paul. Was it Paul Young? Is that who it is? The kid who got pulled up into the bigs. He goes up and he called his parents and whatever, and then he goes up. First thing he does is get a hit. Well, it wasn't even a hit. He ended up driving in the winning run, walk-off run. And I watched it and I was tearing up. Like so much emotion in that because I know the work that it took for that kid to get there and his family and all of the sacrifice. And that's the story that, that story in itself would be a great movie. But that's what we did with Little Angels. It's a story of, and because sports inspire me so much, my goddaughter and my niece were playing girls soccer, and these girls would go out. There'd be 5,000 kids out there playing, and then 10,000 parents on a weekend. I'm like, this is insane. And what do you guys watch like before a game, like nighttime? Like if you have a sleepover or something, they're like, it's like Ladybugs or something. Like that was like 1982 or 2005. I don't know how long ago.
Right, Rodney Dangerfield. Yeah.
Yes. I was like, that's all there is. And I thought, you know what? I don't know much about soccer, but what if I was a big ass football coach, like big time Nick Saban, and say I got in trouble for saying something stupid, which, hey, could do. And then the story is he gets in trouble for saying something stupid, this coach, and he has to go coach under 13-year-old girls soccer. He doesn't like kids. He doesn't like soccer, but he's a heck of a coach and he figures it out. And at first he doesn't even want to do it, but then he ends up making some bets with this beautiful woman and who becomes his love interest and who's also his boss. So it's a little complicated. And he learns from these girls. He learns, their heart and their teamwork. And he starts to care for his players. And then he starts to really coach them and really care about them. And they turn into this phenomenal team. And of course, at the end, he is faced with this horrible choice of living everything he's taught them or going back and coaching, for $5 million. Just one game. I mean, it's kind of a thing. It's like you make this choice. You instill all these values as a coach in your players, and you drill it into them. And then when it comes time for you, what are you going to do? And you got to watch the movie to find out what happens. But it's a happy ending.
It sounds fantastic, man. I love the passion for it. Cole Young, by the way, the Mariners, the guy you were talking
Cole
about.
Young.
Incredible moment there. Yeah, unbelievable.
That was
By the way, you mentioned,
tears.
Yeah. You mentioned the fact that your dad did Young Guns. Obviously, there's a feeling, at least maybe in the bones, that you could write, you could direct, but still to do all these things, Dean, writing, producing, directing, and acting. How challenging it was, like watching yourself on playback in the editing room. How did you manage it all?
It's funny because I know a lot of actors that they don't like to watch themselves. Like they watch their performance, they're like, I don't want to see it. They like did their thing and like I felt it was there. And not me, man. I want to study film the same way I studied film as a player. Like I look at every step. I look at how I'm lined up, and I was like, I'm giving it away. I'm giving it away too early that I'm dropping back. I'm giving it away that I'm coming up. So I would just mix it up, and I'd mix it up and try to mix it up. But I'd study the film, and I would look at it as though it's someone else. Like I wouldn't be, so I'd be mad at myself, and I'd be like, you got to do better. And I would just get disciplined and focused. Same thing making the film. I hadn't done all those things, but I grew up the son of a director. I watched my dad direct. I watched him in post-production doing all this stuff. And so when I watch a film of mine, I look at it like I'm watching game film. I'm like, did I do the right thing? Do I believe me? But I look at it as the character. I'm like, did Coach Jake, hit his mark? Did he not say it right? And I don't have any ego with that. Even if it's a shot where I look stupid or fat or skinny or what, you know what I mean? I'm like, we'll use it because it tells the story, and I don't care. Yeah. And that's another thing. It's like I'm in it for the goal of telling the story. So kind of just throw the ego out and just go, all right. And it was a small film, but it looks fantastic. It looks like it's a much more expensive film. I pulled in favors left, right, and center, and I just really enjoyed the process. So much so that I'm writing, producing, and directing another one that's centered around the golf in late July. So I can't help it. I love sports, and I love the emotions and the lessons you learn. So I'm going to do it again. And then you know what? I'll do it again, and I'll do it again. I'll do it as many times as people let me.
I love it. I love the passion for it. Speaking of the cast, you've got legendary soccer icon Brandi Chastain in this movie and the incredible Hulk himself, Lou Ferrigno. And I know you're Superman, Dean. I know you're in great shape still, but give me a moment from that movie with either Ferrigno or Brandi Chastain.
I'll give you ones from both. First of all, you don't mess with the Hulk. I don't care if you even play Superman. You don't mess with the Hulk. So he gets my goat on this one. Great guy and a great friend of mine, and did me a favor to come out and do that. And then Brandi Chastain, her World Cup goal against China was in the penalty kicks was probably the greatest World Cup moment for any United States player or team in history. And to have her come out and work with the kids and the girls, their eyes just light. It's what happens is coach just needs some help. So he calls in, he's got some money and she's got a great charity. So for her charity, he pays her charity to have her come out and just give a seminar for the kids and teach them stuff and just be honest about, what the team is worth and if they're any good. And she was so great. You could tell she's a great coach because she got out there and just sort of took over with these kids and just coached them. And they were on cloud nine. They couldn't believe that it was Brandi Chastain coming out there, and they all knew exactly who she was. She's great in the film. She's a lovely human being. I thank you, Brandi, for coming out there. She didn't, it wasn't as big a moment as scoring in the World Cup, but it was pretty darn good.
A couple of goats there when it comes to Lou Ferrigno and Brandi Chastain in different ways. Come back with plenty more here. MLB Network Podcast with Dean Cain. A little rapid fire, more baseball, more movies when we come back.
The farmer's dog thinks about your dog every day because their goal is to help them live a long, healthy life. Their food is developed by a team of board-certified vet nutritionists. Unlike most pet foods, the farmer's dog is made to human-grade standards. It's gently cooked without the ultra-processing and portioned for easy weight management. Because sure, good ingredients matter, but the best recipes call for so much more. Get 50% off your first box of the official pet food of Major League Baseball at thefarmersdog.com/MLB. That's thefarmersdog.com/MLB.
Welcome back to MLB Network Podcast. We're talking with actor and filmmaker Dean Cain. The film is called Little Angels, available in theaters now. Make sure you check it out. Rapid fire right now with Dean. I know you're a Dodgers guy. Your favorite baseball memory is?
Memory of mine or Dodgers?
Memory of yours.
After I finished playing, I was actually playing Superman, and I played in a baseball game, hard pitch, and I absolutely hit a towering home run out of Rancho Cucamonga. That was awesome. It just kept going, man.
That is awesome. All right, favorite Dodger memory. I feel like it's going to start with Kirk and end with Gibson.
It's going to start with Kirk and end with Gibson. And you know what's weird about that? You were reading my mind, but that's such a great moment. But I was at an LA Kings hockey game, and I was watching it when it happened. I was with my dad, and we lost our friggin' minds. It was awesome. Go Kirk. I watch it now, and I get chills.
There's no doubt about it. Favorite baseball movie all time is?
Oh my gosh, that Bull Durham. Bull Durham is
why. I was going to say Ron Shelton played in the minors. He knows that world like anybody else. All right, you worked with Denzel in Out of Time. It's a great, great movie. It came out 20 years ago. Carl Franklin, who I love because he did One False Move. Tell me about working with Den. Sanaa Lathan, what do you got?
So when you step up against the best, you better come prepared. And with Denzel, it was definitely was it Cole Young? Is that kid we talked about a second? Was it kid? That was my moment stepping up into the bigs. And I don't know if I hit the game-winning, got the game-winning RBI, but it was just incredible to be up there with him. It was as big as me playing, for Buffalo. And Denzel is my favorite actor. I think he's the best in the business. And that was my biggest big league moment. And I'm forever thankful to the big guy. And Carl Franklin was amazing.
I was going to say, terrific director. Superman is coming out in theaters this summer. Are you going to watch it?
Yes, I am. I'm going to the theaters to watch that. And they darn well better not disappoint me. And I said darn. I didn't go into other word, but other things wanted to come out because I really want it to be good. And I really want to like it. I want to see Superman smile and be the Superman of hope and light and goodness. Not that, no offense to Zack Snyder or Henry Cavill, but that was a dark world. Let's get some light and some hope and some positivity back and let them have a little romance. For the love of Pete, I had all kinds of romance with my character. Let's go.
I was going to say, the chemistry of you and Terry Hatcher, not to be beaten. I got to ask you with the Magic Show, Masters of Illusion on the CW since 2014. Are you a Magic fan yourself?
I wasn't. I'm just a dumb guy who goes like, how did you do that? And I'm still that same dumb guy now. Like they'll do it in front of me. They'll wheel out a cart. I look at the cart. I'm able to look at it. Okay. And then all of a sudden he does some hocus pocus and a woman comes out. And I'm like, that is not possible because I touched it and looked at it. No way. And I just don't know how it happens, but I love hosting that. I think we're renewed for a couple more seasons now. So I'm going to be out there talking Magic for a long time.
Time out the We Got Now question presented by New Balance. What player in the game, D, makes you stop and watch right now?
Shohei Ohtani. Bingo, bango, boom. That's my guy. He's my favorite guy in the game. You know what I was for Halloween this last year? Shohei Ohtani. You better believe it. Look, I'm part Japanese, man. I'm quarter Japanese. That's my man. I was like, that's me. Shohei is playing me. So let's go.
And last thought, of all the accolades in your career, where do you rank VH1 in 2009 ranking you as one of the top 40 hottest hotties of the 90s?
I mean, I should have been top 5, whatever, but you can't choose, you know. That I would have that. I'd have that. I want that as my banner. I want to say I have a little banner on it. One of the top hotties of the 90s. I'll take it. Top 50, good. I'm in.
Yeah, I'm sure everyone is agreeing. Still as hot as ever. The new film, once again, is called Little Angels. Dean, thank you so much. Movie's available in theaters now, right? People should go check it out immediately.
Go check it out. Go to littleangelsmovie.com and see where it's playing in your area. If it's not there, hit demand and demand it be there.
I love it. Dean Cain, we'll see you next time on the MLB Network Podcast. Thank you so much, man.
Can't wait. Thank you.